Hello everyone, and welcome to the 31 Day in the Moment Cleanse. I'm Sarah Rowley, and this is day 18. And I get to show you guys my dinner that I'm going to have tonight. I found it at the farmer's market, and it smells really good. And it's sugar-free. So before I show you, I wanted to talk about today and my practice in practicing being in the moment. And I have to say that today at work was much more easeful, and I was able to stay in the moment for longer periods of time. I think that all my practicing is today was a sign of that it's really coming along in me, and I'd like to share with you guys kind of an instance that I know would have brought me more into unconsciousness, and it actually was able to bring me a little bit more conscious. I know I've discussed that in a previous video. I don't know if that was even my last video or not, but I feel like I just talked about that. So, a co-worker of mine was breaking me for lunch, and she came and she told me that she calls me Sarah, sweet as pie. And, you know, it's really sweet, and she's a really sweet woman. And another co-worker walked by, and she kind of made this noise like, ugh, like, you know, like that, like, yeah, right, but, I know this coworker, and, I know that she, it's not a judgment, it's just a fact that she normally stays in the unconscious state of, like, either jealousy or judgment, and I honestly believe that before I would have, you know, felt the sting, and then I would have, like, gotten into more unconsciousness myself and, like, secretly said to my first coworker who was being sweet to me, you know, I would have, like, been like, what's her problem, or, you know, or something, or, you know, like, probably, like, talked behind, you know, her back or something. I know I would have done that, like, I'm just being honest. But I was actually, I think because I was really staying in the moment all day, I was able to become more conscious, and I felt a sting, but then I was relating to myself as a being who felt a sting, rather than relating to feeling the sting. So I felt it passed by pretty quickly, like I dropped it, like, right away, and I just felt compassion for the woman who made the snide, like, noise, like, I just felt compassion for her, and, was just conscious that, you know, that was her resisting, you know, somebody giving me, you know, praise or something, you know, it wasn't something that I was asking for or looking for, it was just something nice that, my other coworker was expressing, and for whatever reason, I don't know her internal dialogue, but my second coworker was, you know, just resisting that and judging it, and I know she has a tendency to play things off as a joke, but it's you could just tell there's a difference between somebody who's really joking with you and somebody who's, like, bullying you or has a tendency to bully people, but they try to, like, to play it off as a joke. Like, so if somebody ever comes to them and says, like, hey, that really hurt my feelings, they could be like, oh, I was just joking, you know, like, you can tell. They think that you can't tell, but you can tell. So yeah, I was just actually really amazed that I was able to feel that, and it wasn't even a matter of, like, me having to try to forgive her. I just naturally did. Like, once that compassion set in, it was, like, not even a thought of, like, to forgive her. It just naturally happens. Like, why would I even condemn, you know, somebody who's, you know, unconscious? Like, I can totally relate to that too. You know, I have unconsciousness in me, and when I'm unconscious, it doesn't feel good. So just relating to somebody who doesn't feel good, rather than taking it personal. So yeah, just really able to stay in an easeful state today, and you know, my circumstances were all the same. I still go to the same job. I still got 12 babies to take care of and 3 teachers, and sometimes it gets, you know, really busy in there. You still have the same bosses and, you know, coworkers and everything, but there was a shift in me, and it's just amazing to me how simple it is to live in the moment, and not to be worried about future and past when you're actually living it. My mind, when I'm identified with my mind, it makes it this like great accomplishment, and it makes it this thing I have to like strive for. And so when I'm, you know, identified with my mind, I'm like always striving for it. I'm like, yes, that's what I want, that's what I need, you know, that will make me more valuable. It's like how I feel, when in reality I already am valuable. Nothing that I strive for can ever make me valuable, because I already am. And I really get that when I'm living in the moment. And you know, I can still strive for things. It's just that it's more of fun play to strive for things, rather than feeling like desperation to strive for them. And I don't know, it just really does feel more useful. So, you know, Eckart talks about how the average person on our planet is usually goes through phases of different levels of unconsciousness. So they're usually the like normal unconsciousness, where I talked about that hum, you know, and then a challenge will come up and they'll go into like deeper unconsciousness. So they kind of go in between these like levels of unconsciousness. But he says that, you know, there are people who are who are working at and practicing you know, this practice of living in the moment, and not necessarily through his teachings. Like, there's also people who, I don't know, may have not even heard of him, who are doing the same kind of work, where you're not worried about the future and the past. You're just living in this moment and making decisions based on, you know, right now. And those, you know, at first you're going to go between consciousness, and then, you know, you go into unconsciousness. So you're kind of going in and out at first, which makes sense, right? It's kind of like like anything, you kind of have this, he calls it like a little evolution of consciousness. So like anything else, just takes practice. So I was just really grateful to see that my practice was really coming along. So yeah, feels good. I'll show you my dinner. So here it is, and I know this looks like salsa, but I want to try to say what it is. I know I'm probably going to say it wrong. The man who sold it to me at the farmer's market said it was vegan Mauska. I'm probably saying it wrong. Mufasa. No. It's spelled Mousaka. So it's vegan. It doesn't have any meat in it. And I asked him if there was any sugar in it that was added, and he was like, no, just whatever's on the label. It's just eggplant, tomato, onions, peppers, and taverna, which I don't know what that is either. I'm assuming a spice or something. But yeah, I asked him, and, you know, there's no potato or anything in this one, but maybe if you guys want to look it up, maybe like Google it or something, that could be a meal idea if you're looking to do the sugar detox. So yeah, that is everything. Thank you guys so much for viewing my video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope you're taking really good care of yourselves. Namaste.